عواقب أمورنا وأعذنا من شرور أنفسنا. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam spoke about a time that will come when Islam will be at the receiving end. He spoke about a time when the entire world will gather around Islam, and Islam is like on a dastarkhan. And when you have a dastarkhan of food, then the one person who just points and says, "Pass me that." So that T-bone or that chicken, it's got no haqq. It's got no right, it can't complain. This person wants it, he just pulls it. That person just pushes it. One person is very hungry, he just eats and eats. He said a time will come when Islam will be like that. But from different corners, anyone can just say, "I want that," and just pull it. Just pull that. No one will have a haqq. So we found in the world that's happening. And Sahaba radiallahu anh then asked that will it be that the Muslims at that time in the world will be few in number? So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Nay, very few, there will be lots." And today in the world, the Muslim Ummah has reached a number which is beyond imagination. He said, but they will be affected with one sickness, and that's the sickness me and you all got. He said, it's the sickness of the love of this world, and to have a dislike to die. Sickness for the love of this world, and a dislike to die. So I will not speak about the love of this world. I just want to speak about death. That we live in a world where everything is provided for us. Because everything is provided, no one wants to leave. We're enjoying life. Whereas the demand was that me and you, we must live this world in such a manner that when the angel of death comes, we must be ready to say, "I was waiting for you for years." It's a sentence. If you can learn this one sentence, "I am waiting to die." See, every time you fight with your wife, all you have to tell her is, "I'm waiting to die." She'll come and tell you, sorry. She doesn't want you to die. So at night, you just say, "Maybe I'll die tonight." Tonight she'll come back and say, "Okay, forgive me." We don't want to die. One saint of the time, he sat on his roof. At that time they used to sit on roofs, the roofs were flat. And the area was hit with a plague and people were running. As people were going out, taking their bags, he said, "Get out of the city fast before that sickness hits you." So he said a sentence, he said, "Oh death, you're chasing behind the wrong people. Those people don't want to die, I want to die. I'm not dying. When are you going to come for me?" Now who will ever desire to die? It will be that person who can learn to see what happens when you die. When I was young and I saw someone being buried in the grave, and I also understood that one day there is something called Qiyamah and then there is called Jannah. But as for the life of the grave, I understood it's a life where you will just sleep. And sleep, no matter how wonderful sleep is, no one likes to sleep forever. So because I would see that person being put in the grave, and then they said now he's going to sleep in peace. No one wants to sleep in peace. After a while you get tired of sleeping, you want to enjoy the world. Then when we went to madrasa, one thing that opened my mind was the ahadith that took man into the world of the grave. And that's a journey that we will now take. What happens when we die, and why must we wait for it? This world is a world which is a murakkab, a combination of good and bad. Where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes qasam wal duha, by the qasam of day, when he takes qasam wal layli idha saja, by the qasam of night when it covers day. Those two qasams will to explain how this world works. That in this world you see good times, you must be ready for difficult times also. So during the good times you have to prepare. Some people live on how much they earn. This beginning of what duha was to give a message, don't do that. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam indicated to Sahaba radiallahu anhum in many manners, many ways, that you prepare for the rainy day. So if a man is earning at this level, he must spend at this level. In between must be saved. Because this world where there's an uphill, there's a downhill, but after the downhill there's another uphill. This is how the world works. You will see good but be ready for night. And at the same, when night comes, meaning difficult times, don't become so depressed, because the qasam is, where there is night, there has to be day also. Both is going to happen. Look at the surah, وَالضُّحَى, by the qasam of day, by the qasam of night. During the night, never think day won't come. During the day, never think night won't come. But whichever condition you are in, especially when it is night, difficult, you don't have to fall in depression. مَا وَدَّعَكَ رَبُّكَ وَمَا قَلَى. Remember, your Allah has not left you. He's not angry with you. A man who got depression, if he just reads those first 3 ayat, وَالضُّحَى وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا سَجَى, by the qasam of day and the qasam of night, that during day prepare for the night. When night comes, no day is coming. But if you are at the moment in a condition of night, difficulty, then مَا وَدَّعَكَ رَبُّكَ, your Allah has not left you. وَمَا قَلَى, your Allah is not angry with you. It's the system of the world. وَلَلْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ لَكَ مِنَ الْأُولَى. While you are in this world, however, whether it's day or whether it's night, you have to remember what's coming after is better than what we are in now. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave an example. He said, the best example I can find to explain to you what's coming is like the child in the womb of the mother. He said, during that 9 months, the child thinks that there can be nothing better than this. What an example it is. But what was the womb? The womb was so small. But because the child could never imagine something bigger, so even if the doctor said to it, come out, there's a world, the child will say, I'm staying where I am. I don't want to come. The environment, but the child was lonely. The child thought he's getting food, but he was getting dirty blood. He thought he was the king of the world, but he couldn't even walk. But because the mind could never go to something which he had not experienced, he began denying it. So every child that comes in the womb comes out crying. The mother has to push the child out after 6 to 9 months. Soon as he comes out, he's crying to say, I want to go back. But once that child tastes 1 drop of the mother's milk, he forgets the entire world of the womb. Rasulullah's words were, similarly when my ummati comes on the verge of death, he also wants to cry. He said, I don't want to go. He says, but when Allah will open up to you what's coming, it's not a world. What happens in that world? Why do we hear that you will go and you will sleep? No one's going to sleep forever. But just like how when a child comes from the mother's womb, that journey of just the womb to the world makes the child tired. And that day he will sleep for hours. Similarly, when man leaves this world and he enters what is called barzakh, he will sleep because he's tired. It was a very strenuous, difficult journey. He won't sleep forever. Comes in the narrations. And perhaps we are the only nation in the world, the nation of Islam, who can say to a person, I can take you on the journey of the world of the grave. Even in the Bible, you will not find mention of the world of the grave. The amount of detail we have for what's coming, everyone knows paradise and hell. But the world of the grave, how it was described by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, nobody else knows. I can look at it and I can say, I'm waiting. Soon as the man goes, his eyes open when he hears the angels talking. You can hear the one angel saying to some people who have come to visit him, when a man just leaves this world, those that are already in that alam, in that world, they want to visit you. Just like how a person receives someone. Umar bin Abdul Aziz, rahimullah, he lived a very short while after he became Khalif. But his son passed away before the father. So when the son was very ill, the father got the news he wanted to come visit. The son never wanted his father to see him. But he knew my father will look at me and he will see my son is going. So the khadim tried to stop him, he understood, so he pushed the khadim away, he entered, the child tried to cover himself. He could already see the signs of death. So he says to his son that, it seems that you think if I see you in this condition, I'll break down. Like me and you, if we see my son in the condition of death, we will miss him, yes, and you will cry because you miss someone. Me and you make the mistake, we don't cry because we're going to miss. We do cry for that, but the other reason we cry is we say shame. He was so young. He never saw the world. That is what I want to explain to you. That what he saw and what we think he never saw. So Umar bin Abdul Aziz rahimullah said to his son, do you think I'll break down if I see you on your way out? He said, oh my son, remember, I also have to die, you also have to die. He said, if I die first, after I finish up my job that night, and I get the news you coming, I will come to make istiqbal for you. I will come and stand and I'll receive you. And if you go first, then when you finish your job, you will make istiqbal for me. He said, why must I make your istiqbal? You go and make my istiqbal. And you die first. He said, one of us has to receive the other. So you tell the person, you take the ticket first, you go sort out the luggage, and I come, I want to see you there. Say, Daddy, the tea is ready. What an eye he had, but that death doesn't mean the end. Death is the beginning. Death for me and you starts life. And the angel takes the soul of a believer away, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned. An angel asks the believer, look at the world. There you will see your wife crying, your son crying, your family crying. Then the angel will say, you want to go back? You will see them crying, but the believer's answer will be, to a world of sorrow, no way. Say, to a world of fear and poverty, no way. Once I'm out, I'm not going back. Why will he say that? Because when the child comes into this world, it says, I'm not going back in the womb. As soon as you will pass away, your eyes will open after a while. You will hear family all trying to meet you. The angel is saying to them, hold on, he's tired. Then you will start meeting. So much of detail has come in the ahadith that people will start asking questions. You will be given the main seat. They will say to you, in Lusaka, so and so person, how's he? This auntie, what happened to her? To such an extent that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned that there will be one person. When I read this narration, I said it must be a Gujarati family. There will be one person who will ask. Either it will be a woman who will ask, or it's a man. Most likely it will be a Gujarati woman. She'll ask, after I died, who my husband married? So I said, a Gujarati woman. Oh, I'll worry about that. Even that question will be brought. The man, when he comes in the narration and asks the question. And then it also comes that they will ask, how so and so? And he will say, so and so passed away. And then the entire group will become quiet. Because if he passed away and he never reached us, that means he's gone somewhere else. That will be the beginning, however, of that world, meeting this person and meeting that person. Me and you just go for Umrah. Just for Umrah, and we forget the whole South Africa, Zambia. When we reach there, our first purpose is not to go buy a phone card. So the people of the country, they want to contact us. We're not bothered. I want to finish my Umrah. That man who goes around the Kaaba, he forgets his whole family. On death, the beginning of your meetings with Almighty Allah starts. You'll never remember anyone else. The first time man will be allowed to hear Allah Ta'ala directly is when he dies. That soul will be taken up to the heavens before the questioning of the grave also. It will be taken to a spot where he will hear, my servant has passed. I used to always wonder, why do you go up first and then come for the exam after that down? And the thought came to me, when a child comes in this world, the first thing that is done, the mother puts the child on the breast. One drop of milk makes the child at ease. It seems Almighty Allah wanted to make the people of this ummah at ease. The ecstasy of hearing the word of Allah Ta'ala directly will make man forget his whole world. That's the beginning of paradise. There will be meetings, comes in the narration, birds will land, green birds, souls will go into the birds. The birds will fly around in paradise. Every person will be shown his paradise. That one is yours, that one is yours. Hazrat Thani Rahimullah wrote that besides nikah, every other pleasure of Jannah, you will get the taste of it in the world of the grave. When you get a taste of something, the mother made something, the child wants to eat it, she gives it one bite. Now the child wants more, she says, hold on for supper. Now the child starts crying, Mommy, I want more. So I just wanted you to taste. In the world of barzakh, it will be taste. That bird will end up at the fruit of Jannah. As it will eat, that juice will go through through the stomach of the bird. Every soul will taste of that juice. It will go in ecstasy. It comes in the narration, the man will say to the angel, when is Qiyamah? The angel will say, now go back to rest. Drink from the waters of paradise, ecstasy again. When is Qiyamah? Go back to rest. You will be shown your palaces and palaces. When is Qiyamah? Go back to rest. It will be a world. Sometimes you will be flying past, they will show you, this is your plot, this is bulb, this is bulb, this is bulb. You will be so thrilled and you will see one spot, not bulb. Then you will ask what happened here, they will say every act of yours in the world was cash. You had an account in the year after. Your one subhanallah was in the account. As it came, we built, we bought, we put up. On your death, your account froze. This is the plot we bought for you. You started building and stopped. Another journey you will make, you will see the building has commenced again. It will be ecstasy upon ecstasy. You will ask, what happened? They will say, your son thought of you, your daughter, your wife. There was one tree you planted, one bird ate from the tree. Some man went under and he rested under the tree. A small thing, a big thing, something you left in this world. There was one Quran there, it was your donation. One boy took it, he started reading immediately. Now it was not your account anymore, it was other people sending money in your account. Comes in the narration, a time will come where a man will see in the world of the grave like a mountain of rewards. So you will ask, who sent this? So they will say that your son. You must understand this, if someone passed away in your family and you're really feeling, I never do enough. Oh, I wanted to say, Daddy, sorry, but I never got the chance. But remember, the dead man doesn't need your sorry. The dead man needs cash. Because when we went for Umrah, may Allah save us all, but if you land up there, and your one support in Umrah is your wallet. So while you were in ecstasy making tawaf of the Kaaba, you forgot. And one person just came and cut your ihram. And it happens. So after you finish your Umrah, you go to cut your hair. Now when you cut your hair, now you're happy. Now you have to pay the 10 riyals, now you got no money. Now you're looking here and there, you see one cut. But in that wallet was your life, because there you got no other currency. So now you borrow someone's phone, now you remember your family. The only time the dead remembers the living is when the dead needs cash. You don't remember us when we cry. Suddenly he'll phone home. So the first child will say, Daddy, how are you? Mommy, how are you? He'll say, very good, very good. Don't worry, I'm not think. Okay, don't worry, just call somebody else. You're not bothered about it. But cash, who doesn't need cash? So I'll speak to you later. You speak to your brother, you say, you know what, my wallet is gone. I need you to put money into one account. I can pull it out. Now you're looking at that phone. Now you're waiting when that man is putting that money. As that money comes, you'll see an SMS received. When that SMS received, your life comes back. You can go buy supper. Comes in the narration, the angel says to the person who sent what? You want to look after those that have passed away, and you really feel you never do for them enough. They don't need anyone's cheer. If you can send, that person is enjoying life. A lot of life. They look at that phone. They see that name. Comes in the narration, a mountain of reward. So he asked the angel, from where did this come? So the wording of the narration is, the angel says, your son. He thought of you today and he said one sentence. Look how short the sentence was, but what a big thing he gave. Most likely it was because many years had passed. Because when someone passes away, for the first few days everyone remembers. But after a while everyone forgets. So after a while, when everyone has forgotten, that child remembered his father. So the wording was so short, he said, "Oh Allah, forgive my father." On account of that one sentence, "forgive my father," Allah became so happy that you never forgot your father. He gave him a mountain of rewards. That is that world that's coming. It's a world of enjoyment and thrill. It's a world of pleasures and fantasies. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Tuhfatul mu'mini al-maut." The gift that Allah gives to a believer. The president of Zambia might call you. After he gave you a dawah, he's going to give you a gift. It could be a big box, but there must be something in the box. According to the status of the man is the value of what's in the box. He can't give you 5 rupees, $5. You tell him you are president, you give me $5. I came all the way here. You give me according to your status. When it came that the gift that Almighty Allah gives to a believer, it would have been a diamond. Comes the gift that Allah gives a believer is the gift of death. What is it? But a diamond, when you're going to give it, you will make sure the outside box doesn't look so smart. Because as it's going, it mustn't hit somebody's eyes and they take it away. So you put it in an ugly box. But the man who's receiving it understands it came from the president. No matter how ugly the box may be, what's inside is a jewel. Death also comes with a box that doesn't look so smart. But when death is taken, no person after that says, "I want to go back." We live to die. One friend, his father was extremely ill, so he wrote, "Please make dua, my father must live." So I explained to him, you don't make du'as like that. You make du'as that, "Oh Allah, what is best for my father, let it happen." He wasn't happy with that dua. He said, "No, life." So I wrote to him that, imagine if your father gets better and he comes out of hospital and life starts again. Everything, one of two things can happen. 5 years down the lane he has to get sick again. 5 years. And then he might become muhtaj, in need. Now he's taken home, you got a napkin, you're going to look after him. So he said, "Yeah, I'll look after him." I said, "Why you not put your father in that place?" I said, "The other possibility is he gets better. And he becomes so better, he says, "Hey, life starts again. But your mother never got so young." So suddenly he starts looking for another youngie. Now he finds one in the shop, one white woman. Now he brings her home, now your mother starts crying. Now in her love, he loses his iman also. And then he dies. I say, on the day of Qiyamah, are you going to pull him out of Jannah? I said, we don't know what tomorrow holds. So if today death is better, then don't ever say, "I want to see tomorrow." You don't know what it holds. But he wasn't still too happy with the answer. So when his father passed away, he wrote a letter to me. That I had a dream after the death of my father, that I saw my father was upstairs and I was downstairs. And my father was like a big grown man, smiling. And then he was like a child in his napkin, smiling. And then again he became grown, and then he became a child in the napkin. And then my father pointed to me downstairs and he went like this, "Here, you come up." Normally when we see that, we say, "The dead is calling, I don't want to go." We all get, no one wants to die. So this dream now was covering him. So I told him, what comes to mind? The first thing is you saw your father like a child. That's very good for your father. Because as though Almighty Allah is saying to you, your father reached me like a newborn baby. I'm clean, you have no problem. I said, but for you, I think your father was giving you another message. He was giving you a message that, my son, you did promise that if I ever come in a napkin, you will look after me. I know you promised. But when you would have looked after me in a napkin, you would have looked after me how a grown-up in a napkin is looked after. And you'll come, you'll change the napkin, you'll be upset about it. You would still have looked after me. He said, but by my Allah, I am being pampered like a baby. You would never have done that. And then when he pointed to you and said like this, I said, he wasn't telling you die tomorrow. He was saying to you, you were making dua that daddy stay downstairs. After I saw what's happening upstairs, I'm telling to you, you rather make dua that you want to come upstairs. And nothing is happening down. There was a girl in Azarville when she passed away, at a young age. So her friend was extremely hurt by this, but they were extremely close. So she saw a dream. She saw her, she knocked on the door, the dead person, she was thrilled. She said, I thought you dead. She said, I'm more alive than you think. She said, you're not allowing me in your house. Won't you invite me for something? She said, no, come in, come in. So she laid a dastarkhan. In the dream she's seeing, she laid out the dastarkhan, she brought some biscuits, she had just made a cake that day, in the dream. Now that friend is looking at the cake, in the dream, looking like this. So she asked her friend that, you're not eating, I just made this fresh. So in the dream the friend said to her, that if you had seen what my Allah is giving me, you would have felt ashamed to put this in front of you. And then she woke up. If you could see what my Allah is giving me, you would have been ashamed to call this food. Everything happening there. Because we lived in a world where we really thought, oh yeah, that is the world. A world of no worry, a world of no tension, and a world of no fikr. One person went to the doctor. So when the doctor did his checkup, normally when old age comes, you have to get sick. No one's going to be always healthy. And doctors are masters. They can find sicknesses even if it wasn't there. So now suddenly you got sugar. You never knew you had sugar. You got pressure. You got this here. You got that there. As he sat in the car, he told his wife, I got a whole list. Pressure. They tell you got pressure and they tell you don't stress. Obviously you will start stressing after that. And they tell you stress will make your pressure go more. Worse than that day he told his wife, I got high blood pressure. Oh, she gave it to him so much, it wasn't gone high. In the car now she's telling him, I told you mustn't do this. I told you living unhealthy. I told you T-bone steak is not good. They carried on. So by the time he reached home now his wife went on the internet, Googled, checked up how to live a healthy lifestyle. How we all, when you go doctor, as soon as you come back, Google will teach us how to become alive. So the next morning when he woke up now, he expected his normal steaks and his normal, he saw salad. So he thought that something is up, so he asked, what's this? He said, I'm putting you on a salad diet. So he was laughing, he never understood really salad diet. He said, I will make sure you eat nothing but salad. So after 1-2 days, salad will come out of his ears and his nose. How much? Now she put him on the running machine, she put him on the jog in the mornings. He was once upon a time sleeping fast, now he's jogging in the cold. When his friends ask him, what's happening? He just says, the wife put me on the diet. Every time he looks at his wife, he says that one chocolate. So she says, you listen to me and you will live 10 years longer. Listen to me. One said that you listen to me 10 years. The ending is Jahannam you got. You're living in the world, but you got Jahannam. So one day he and his wife are driving and there's a car accident. After years of suffering now, he's supposed to get to his 10 years, but the accident killed him before that. So now the two of them will land up in paradise. They were good people. So the angel will say, welcome, come in. Auntie will come in, uncle will come in. Now as you enter paradise, what you're going to see, what you used to do in the world. So because he was a man worried about his health or something, so the first thing you'll see is like a golf course. Because now he was playing golf, running after the ball, getting the ball going. So he said, what a cause this is. So he asked the first question, how much does it cost to play a game, to roll, join the club? So the angel said, this is paradise. You enter paradise, it's free here. He said, can't. I'm telling you, take a game, there's no clause, there's no hidden front, you don't pay. And when he hit that shot also, it went hole in one. First time in his life, his wife will also say, wow. Otherwise, in this world, she'll say, wow. In paradise, it happens, it don't happen here. Then they went for a swim, he was so thrilled with the swim, he was swimming, not getting tired. But the highlight of his diet came now his breakfast time. Because after you played well, you swam well, you want to eat. So as he landed up now, the whole meal was laid out. Different lines. Because she had trained him so well, he started walking to salads. He also got salad in paradise. So the angel was saying to him that, sir, there's so much of steak, chicken, starting that. He said, me, I got pressure, high blood pressure. I got sugar, I got this, I got that. So the angel will say, sir, this is paradise. In paradise, there's no sickness, there's no this, there's no that. You eat what you want, you do what you want, you go where you want, how you want. As his angel is telling him. Whole life his wife will say, 10 years more, 10 years more, 10 years more. Listen to me, you love. As the angel is telling him, do what you want, eat what you want. So he looks at his wife, he says, you idiot, I should have died 10 years ago. 10 years of sabr on salad. What is all? Love for what? Die. The desire to die must be my desire. There will be some people who will desire only when they die. Even for that is great. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, that person who wants to meet Allah, Allah wants to meet him also. Aisha radiallahu anha asked for majority of the world, the majority don't want to die. It doesn't matter. At the time when death will come, Allah will show them such scenes they will want to die. But that man who from before will say, I want to die, majority will be at the ending. Majority of us will be like this, will be sitting old now. The beard is white. Now he's seeing my daughter, now he's seeing my son, now I'm crying. Now I call my wife, I say, remember those hard days, good old days, bad old days. Remember when we came to this country, we had nothing, how we built up and built up. Remember this, remember that, now I'm crying, now she's crying. Then as the doctor comes in, I see on that machine going teeth, now I start cheering, now my wife is cheering. Then I say, hey, my wife Rabia, whatever it is, Fatima, I say, who's going to look after my Rabia? So many years she stayed with me. He said, my son, you look after. He said, I know, you got your own wife. Where are you going to look after your mother? And that's all. And I'm so sad now, making dua, oh Allah, I may not die. If I die, will look after my wife. As I'm making dua, then Allah Ta'ala says, this servant, he is not going to ever want to come. Whole fikr is, who's going to look after Rabia? Who's going to look after Rabia? So suddenly Allah Ta'ala will show him paradise. All uncle. So he's old like you cold. As he's lying there, you just see suddenly in front of him. So Rabia was listening, he was talking to Rabia, but suddenly when paradise opened, he just saw a door. As he saw the door opening and wind was like blowing. And then he saw a girl walking and her hair was all flying. Suddenly he's like stuck. So Rabia now thinks he's in Sakarat. But he's not in Sakarat, he's in another movie. He forgot Rabia. And he's looking, and she comes, whether she makes one kiss, so she just goes like this, here comes. As he goes there, he says, Allah will look after Rabia. Go. So the day you see it, you all want to. But Mubarak to that individual who when he's young. Rasulullah sallallahu said to his Sahabi radiallahu anhu, if you remember my advice, there will be nothing more beloved to you than death. There will be nothing more beloved to you than death. May Allah Ta'ala make that beloved to me. Night when we sleep, oh Allah, maybe it's my last night. So whoever troubled me or oppressed me, I make them all maaf. And if I wake up in the morning, I say, okay, maybe tonight. But I wait to die because on my death life starts. This is not life. حب الدنيا وكراهية الموت. There will be a time when the ummah will be a Mr. Khan for the world. Oh Allah, why? They will be afflicted with a sickness which is called weakness. What is this weakness? He said, the love of this world. They don't want to die. May Allah Ta'ala take us out of this. We love in this world, don't love this world. Love in this world. Love to die. Death is what we created. We created to meet and Allah is the thing of the thrill of the time. وَلَذَّةَ النَّظَرِ إِلَىٰ وَجْهِكَ وَالشَّوْقِ إِلَىٰ لِقَائِكَ. Oh Allah, bless me with that opportunity to look at you. The opportunity to meet you. It all starts with death. We get out of an exam. Rasulullah said, this world is a jail. The day man dies, he has come out of the jail. No one cries when he comes out of jail. Then your freedom will be written on this day. Freedom, meaning you're out. You say, no, I don't want to go free. Why? He said, I'm enjoying the present. You're enjoying the present because you don't believe there's something outside present. He said, you go, you'll know there's something outside. But the yaqeen on the promise of my Allah, that this world is just like the womb of the mother. There's another world waiting for us in the world of barzakh. Jannah is after. It starts, the mirror of paradise is the world of the grave. Mubarak to that person who now starts saying, I love death. Oh Allah, as long as you keep me alive, I will love. But I don't love life. I love death. Allah Ta'ala bless us all. The desire to find our Allah, the desire to walk the path towards the yard. And when we see death in front of us, we don't run for it. We run towards it. Oh Allah, I have been created to die. There was one thing that was keeping you away from me, it was called life. Now when you said, let it last, I'm too thrilled, let it last. It's a nice good one. Jazakumullah khairan for sitting, for listening. Zambia was a very, very lovely country. The people who looked after me did a marvelous job, wonderful job. Allah Ta'ala reward my hosts, their families, the amount of khidmat they have done, all you people. May Allah Ta'ala in His karam accept the dua of His musafir. Whoever is sitting here, may Allah make him a man of this. May Allah give him a unique connection with Allah. Such a connection that you never see his battery being flexed. You will never see him out of radar. Whether we're young, whether we're old, to be able to just cry and say, Allah, I love you. May Allah bless me and bless all of us with that unique love.